Welcome to another edition of HiiEnd. This time I have one of my OG homies. So when I first started making wrestling content, it's always like a slow start, but you
Mhm.
kind of meet some cool people in the world. And one of the people that I met on TikTok was my homie Lavante. And it just kind of became an organic friendship. Like you would check on me and be like, "Hey girl, you ain't posted in a while. What's good? What's going on?
For
What's going
real.
on?" We did not get a chance to link up in Mania last year, but you were very important to me, like figuring out where I should stay in LA and what I should do and what I
Hmm.
shouldn't do while in LA. So again, just thank you for always being I say a supporter because I really view you as a friend now. Like we cool, we homies.
Hell
That
yeah.
being said, I want you to introduce yourself, tell us about yourself, and kind of what got you on this wrestling journey.
Well, I'm Lavante. Well, Lavante F. Smith. Um, I got on the wrestling journey similar to you because I was listening to your story. My brother got me into wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
He's 8. My brother Keontae. He's 8 years older than me. So when I was younger, I always wanted to be around him, and he was around his friends because he was older, playing video games. So one time I was wanting to play a video game with him. He was like, "Just leave me alone. Just go watch this videotape of wrestling." Like he gave me this videotape of wrestling. I can't remember who it was, but it was just a VHS, and I
Mm-hmm.
got
Oh, a
hooked after that.
VHS. Oh, baby.
Yeah, I'm aging myself. It was a VHS of wrestling, and I was watching ever since.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah,
I mean, similar to me, right? Trying to do what your older brother does, and you end up falling in love with wrestling, and here you are, several years later, still in the game.
yeah. I remember watching the first episode of Raw when Raw came on. I think it
Okay, now
was
you definitely aging yourself.
yeah. It's all right. It's all right.
I feel that. I feel that. Where can we find you?
Everything is Lavante F. Smith. Like my Instagram, my Twitter. My Twitter is actually Lavante F. Smith _, but everything else TikTok is Lavante F. Smith. Also, my YouTube page is Lavante F. Smith.
Perfect, perfect. So, the reason we are here today is I have a love of Sasha Banks, and
Mm-hmm.
not as much as love for Mercedes Monet. Um, and you have
Terrible.
a love of Mercedes Monet. So I
Yes.
just figured this would be the good time for us to kind of hash it out amongst ourselves and kind of figure out the difference between Sasha Banks and Mercedes Monet. That being said, what's up with this background you got, bro?
You don't like it? This is the classic. Like this is her best outfit so far in
I agree.
AEW.
It is nice gear. I agree.
That is a nice gear right there. Also, you have to have the CEO shirt on today. You feel me? I don't see you
You
with a
know what's
Sasha
funny
Banks
is
shirt.
that I have on lip gloss and letters, first off. Shout out to my home team, lip gloss and letters. I actually almost put on my NJPW shirt.
Uh-huh.
But I didn't. So I dropped the home team this time. But I definitely do have. See, I also think there's a difference between NJPW Mercedes than AEW Mercedes. So we got a lot to talk about.
It
A lot to talk
is.
about.
It is.
All right. So I'm actually going to kick this off with a comment that I got on one of my TikToks that I think is very interesting. And I kind of want us to dive into it, right?
Uh-huh.
So that being said, we're going to give a shout out to Matt Salazar. He commented on one of my Sasha videos and said, Sasha is way better than Mercedes. Mercedes is the result of all the hype and no substance. And I was like, you know what? You might be onto something. What are your thoughts on that comment?
First of all, y'all judging Sasha to Mercedes, and Mercedes only had probably what 10 matches in AEW. Also, y'all
Fair?
judging Sasha to Mercedes. Sasha had great opponents. She had the Bianca, she had the Becky, she had the Bailey. She
Mm-hmm.
had these great opponents. You move her over to AEW, and I love your girl Willow. She's not as great as none of those girls over there. Queen Aminati, she's not as great as Bianca or none of those girls over there. So I don't base Mercedes Monet AEW run off of her wrestling right now because it's kind of too soon. But I'm basing the Mercedes Monet off of her promos, off of her character, off of her gimmick, off of her heel run, and what she's doing in AEW right now.
I think that's fair, but see, that's my, I don't want to say problem with her going to AEW, honestly, is that Ric Flair said it best, right? When he was
Mm-hmm.
asked about Sasha and Charlotte, iron sharpens iron. The two of them bought the best of each other out of each other, right?
Uh-huh.
So there's no iron in AEW.
There's not, and
There's
it's
no one that's can wrestle on her level. Well, let me not say no one. There are some good Yoshi girls that can go. Um, but there's no one on a consistent basis that can be that iron, that can be that Charlotte for her in AEW. I don't want to say she wrestles down because that's a disrespect to everyone who she's wrestled. It's disrespect to Willow, to Queen Amnada, who I think she had a banger with the other day.
Yeah, she did.
So I don't want to say she wrestles down, but she's not wrestling at 100. We'll say that. We'll say that's cleaner. I think we'll say she's not wrestling at 100.
But also, she's not good. She's not getting into feuds like she's did in WWE. WWE, they tell stories where they can have a 3-month feud with each other. These girls, she's just running through week after week, pay-per-view after pay-per-view. It's nothing there.
I 100% agree with you, but that goes into like my AEW rant in general. Like, they book for this, they put matches together for the sake of putting a match together. Like, where is your long-term storytelling? What is going to invest me into this feud, right? Like, Britt and her should have had a banger match, and they didn't.
Exactly.
That match should have been amazing. Number one, it had a story there. They went back and forth on the mic. Britt annihilated her on the mic, which Britt does. And that's kind of one of the things that, like, when you look at Sasha and Mercedes, mic work has really never been that thing. Mic work has really never been her strongest point. But I think in WWE, she was more protected with the mic work because she didn't have to say a lot because she could wrestle. And I think that AEW needs to take that approach, right? Where, like, she ain't got to talk every week. She needs to just go out there and be a menace and put on bangers. Whereas instead, they're giving her the mic every week, and it's like, maybe I shouldn't do that. Like, maybe we should just kind of dial that back a little bit. And I understand that she has her writer from WWE. So, like, I don't think the material is the problem. It's the delivery. But again, WWE creates that machine where you look good even, like, on your worst day and on your worst match and in your worst promo. Like, I think that's part of AEW's problem, is that they have this star. Like, I'm not going to deny the star power is there. I cannot deny her talent. But it's just not clicking with me.
I think they really dropped the ball with Britt Baker. I think that could have been, like, quote unquote, like the Brett and Sean feud with them two. And they just got past it too fast. I don't know, because it's Britt. They was like, Britt didn't want to work with her, or I don't know the backstory with all that.
Same.
But they really dropped the ball with that one. And also, I like Mercedes promo work. Her heel promo work. I don't like the baby face, but the heel is funny. I like the heel.
I think it's very campy. It's very, like, over the top ish. But, like, the problem is you got to find somebody that can match that energy, right? I don't mind over the top. I'm an over the top queen. Like, I love Flash. I love things. Like, I get it. But, like, you got to find somebody that can match that energy for it to kind of find that balance in there. And I don't think there's anyone in AEW that can kind of match that energy for her right now. So I think that's part of the problem.
But see, that's not Mercedes' fault. That's AEW and Tony Khan's fault.
Quite literally, that is my rant.
Yeah, they signed her with nobody. Like, Paige is right. Well, Saraya's right there. They have people right there.
Saraya can't.
She can still go.
She can't.
Sasha would carry the match, but she can that can still be a feud, though. There's a lot of people in wrestling that can't go, but you can still make it a feud. They have that history.
Yeah, they have that history, but the problem is the fans, right? Last time the two of them got in a ring, y'all annihilated Sasha for like a year, saying, like, she broke her neck again and blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't think it's worth.
Feed off of that.
You can feed off of it, yes, but also, like, I don't know. I just don't trust Saraya in the ring right now, man. She doesn't, since she's been back, like, she's never, like, gone. Like, she just don't go like she used to. And, like, respectful, right? I understand you had a really almost a career-ending injury. So, like, I get it. I see it. I'm not knocking you for it. But at some point, you have to recognize that you can't go like you used to, and you need to, like, work around that.
But I think Mercedes is the one that could work around that. Right? You have the feud there. You have the promos there. You have everything there. And you can have Mercedes work around what Saraya can't do. Like, it works out. And she's a heel right now.
It would be okay. Like, I don't think it would be like a WrestleMania or like a pay-per-view worthy thing. I think it could be like something, a cute side quest maybe. I don't know. But I don't know if I want to see that at like Full Gear or All In.
If they build it right. If they build it right.
But the problem is the AEW can't build, right? Like, we just said that. The problem
That's
is
true.
AEW. It's not the
That's true.
talent. It's
That's true.
AEW and like all of the things. So I just
But fans
I don't
wanted to
know about.
see the Hardys versus Edge and Christian again, right? But why they can't see Soraya versus Mercedes?
It's a valid
And
point.
they can't. To me, Jeff can't go anymore, or Matt.
So Matt can barely get down the ring. So like Matt be struggling to get down the ring. So like I don't want to see Matt in anybody's ring anymore. I think Jeff can go, but Jeff can't go long term. And I think part of that is nostalgia. And I think that everyone keeps thinking that Matt and Jeff and Edge and Christian are these babies that they used to be back in the 90s, and they are not. You are not getting the same Hardy Boys versus Edge that you would have gotten in 1996.
You're
And
not
that's
getting the
okay.
yeah.
That's okay, right? You have to kind of meet people where they are. And you're not going to get that banger out of the Hardy Boys right now. And I'm not knocking the Hardy Boys. I think they want to go back to WWE. I think their best bet would be to cop a Legends deal and maybe do some in-ring training for Jeff, not for Matt. No one wants to see that. At NXT, maybe. I think they'd be great trainers because they definitely have the skills and the abilities. But do I think that they could hop into a tag team feud right now? Fuck no. Do I want to see it? No.
I think
I don't.
They need one more match though.
I'm not saying they don't need one more match, but does it need to be a TLC match? Does it need to be a ladder match? Does it need to be an Extreme Rules match? No. Can you throw them in for like 15 minutes in the mid card somewhere on pay-per-view? I'd see it. I'd watch it.
Yeah, and then retire. And then
let it go and be a legend and just do signings like everybody else. Nothing's wrong with that. Nothing's wrong with that. But like Matt gotta hang it up. Matt, I understand Matt got all them kids and he needs to do something, but that's where legend contract comes in. Because baby, Matt can barely get down that damn ramp. Like he be struggling. He be like,
I seen a TNH match. I think they just had a couple of weeks, or like a month ago, and it was horrible.
Yes,
it was horrible.
Because and I think that's again part of that is us as a fan base because we're expecting them to be the Hardy Boys of 2001, and like they're not. Like we are. And it's unfortunate because you have people in the business who are older that look good. You have Jeff Jarrett. That man looks good.
Oh, yeah, he can still go.
Jeff Jarrett can still go. So then you see like some of your faves and you're like, But then you have someone like Sting who, while he can wrestle, I'm not saying he can't go, right? But he knows that going into it and the moments are created around him to still make him look good.
He knows
you got to create that moment and create that match. That's on the producers to kind of make him look like a god still. Because Sting, while he wasn't going like he used to, he still looked good in his last run.
Yeah, you put him with Darby and let Darby do all the crazy stuff, and then Sting coming at the end. Yeah,
and that worked for them. And Sting went out on a high note, right? Like at some point, you got to know when to wrap it up. And Matt, Jeff,
it's a wrap. It's been a wrap for about 2 years now.
100%. Like, and he used to like. Now that he realized that he's not going back to AEW, he's ranting on them and like, we should have had a tag team run. Like, should you have?
Don't look like it.
Should you have had a tag team run, Matt? Let's talk about that. Your brother just came back, and like, we're not going to comment on Jeff's demons, but like, you can't claim you want a tag team run when your tag team partner is not available for whatever reason.
Yeah, true.
And then Matt Hardy couldn't find a good like character. He tried the Money Matt. He tried the Woken. He tried to go back and do like some of his. It never stuck with him. They tried. AEW tried. In AEW's defense, they tried. They gave him multiple characters. They gave him multiple groups. It just couldn't land for whatever reason, and that's on Matt.
Yeah, AEW. That's one thing. AEW do give you chances. Now, if you don't, it's your chance. If you don't land it, that's on you. But AEW fans are different too.
They are.
So stuff that worked in WWE is not going to work in AEW.
It doesn't. And then I think people need to recognize that you are not the same wrestler. And this goes for anybody that you were in WWE trying to come over to AEW. Because we can talk about the Hurt Business or the Hurt Syndicate right now if you want to. Like, we can have that debate. That's not. I don't know how that. I think it's going to work. But I don't know why you would take something that worked in another company and then put in another company.
It's just
that's weird to me.
Yeah, it's a reboot.
Like,
it's just a reboot.
But like, and I understand how we got here. Like, I see it, the vision. I do think that was a great great era for them, and it worked. And then they cut it for whatever reasons. Like I understand wanting to like bring it back and giving it its true run, but it just looks weird to me. It comes off as why when you just copy pasting it over into the AEW. Like I'm not saying they can't do something Hurt Business-esque, but like make it AEW style. And I understand bringing in possibly Lio Rush because we know him and Bobby had that chemistry. It's like I see it, but like,
and that's why I think we didn't need MVP. I'm sorry, we did not need MVP.
You think so? Tell me about that. That's
we
a
did
hot
not.
Take.
We don't need MVP. Just we know that he's a good talker, but we don't need like you said, copy and paste from WWE to he's doing the same thing. It's nothing.
Yeah.
If he was getting in the ring wrestling, I can see that. Okay, we need MVP. Like every now and then.
Okay, but then what about Shelton Benjamin? He's copy pasting. How you think that? And he had a banger. Let's talk about that.
Okay, that's why. So that's not really a copy paste because WWE wasn't letting him wrestle. I think this Shelton Benjamin is going to be like, all right, we gonna give him a push. He might be some kind of champion in a couple of more months. I can see that.
No, I could definitely see him having a time. I don't think it'll be soon, but I think that if they book it right and they lead it right, he could definitely get. I wouldn't be mad if they put a strap on him.
Well, the AEW has so many titles. You can put them on. You can put any. You can put any title on the right soon. But
honestly, I would put the big one on him too. I wouldn't do it now. I mean, obviously it needs to build. We got some things going on, but like I could see him in a year or so being a champion.
Yeah.
I'd give it to him before I gave it to Swerve. But obviously I know that Swerve was there longer, but we're gonna get into that. But
not a Swerve.
I wouldn't hate it.
What? I didn't hear that. I've never heard you say you wasn't a Swerve fan.
What? What? No, I do not like Swerve. I think Swerve wears fake Jordans. I think he has no swag.
So it's personal.
No, it's. I mean, yeah. Okay, honestly, yeah, it is personal because it's kind of about black women. They did reach a little hurt even there. And I just think he has no swag. Like
wait, what did he say? He said something about black.
He made that comment. He had a song where it was like, "I got a black chick, but she black and ugly." Something along those lines, where it was like, it was just a weird comment. And then the whole thing with black wrestling, where he's like, "Well, I don't want to be a black wrestler," and now all of a sudden,
I remember
be a black wrestler. And it
he
just,
didn't want to be on the list or something.
I don't like it. He didn't want to be on the list. Like he made a big deal about taking him off, and all of a sudden, he wants to be like a black wrestler when it's convenient. Where I'm the first black AEW champion. It's like pick a lane and stay in it, bro. Either you want to be black or you want to be OJ. You can't be both. You can't be both, bro.
That's a hot. I never heard you say. Yeah, I never heard that you didn't like.
Swerve, no, that rant is very. Yeah, that is my rant on him. So we don't talk about him on the show, so we're gonna move on. But yeah, I wouldn't mind them putting a strap on Shelton Benjamin and him and Lio Rush. I think it's a good kind of balance because obviously you can't do the full Hurt Business because they don't have what's his face. He resigned recently apparently. So I see putting Lio Rush in there. But also it sucks because I like Lio Rush with Top Flight. So it's like you got to do something with that. Yeah. I don't know how they're going to play that off, but I actually do like him in Top Flight. I think that, I mean, I did it recently on the podcast where I said I think Top Flight should be your next trios or your next tag team champions.
What do you think? I mean, I'm pretty sure Bobby is going to be part of it, of course, but do you think Bobby's going to be copy and paste too, or is he going to be like a bigger star?
I don't know, because the problem is that Bobby can wrestle, but Bobby can't really talk that well. He's gotten better on the mic, definitely. But he's not a natural, like, he doesn't hold my attention naturally. Like, he doesn't have that charisma that, like, MVP has. He doesn't have that charisma that, like, anybody else has, honestly.
But I feel like that's why they need Lio Rush. They didn't need MVP, because Lio Rush could have did the talking and the wrestling, too.
That is true, but it's MVPs, though, right? This is MVP's baby. So I can't see them doing that without MVP. And if you're going to do it, you might as well include MVP because that's his thing. So like I see both sides. I see what you're saying that Lio Rush could be manager and the talker because he was for Bobby. He wrestled with Bobby and he managed Bobby before. Yeah. So I certainly can see it. But if you're going to go that route, why not include someone that was originally part of it when they're available?
Okay, so when all this goes away, when the Hurt bit, whatever it's called now, goes away, what do you do with MVP then?
I don't know. Find the black wrestler for him. So that's the thing, is that he says he wants to wrestle. He's scheduled at Bloodsport at the end of the month or whenever the next Bloodsport is. He's actually scheduled for it.
Oh,
That's
so
how
he
we knew
can
that he
wrestle.
was free. Yeah, that's how we knew that he was free because he popped up at Bloodsport and was like, I'm free. I want to wrestle.
Okay, so Tony might let him wrestle then.
I don't see why he wouldn't. I mean, if he can still do Taekwondo or whatever form of karate, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be respectful to that. I don't know what he does. Whatever it is that he does, where he has one of the highest belts, I don't see why he can't get in the ring with the right person, right? I don't want to see him in the ring with like a jobber or I'm
Yeah.
sorry, enhancement talent. But I think that if you pick the right opponents for him, MVP wouldn't be that in the ring. And then also, I think that because he's been there, done that, he could be someone that could take on a newer person and like show them, put them over, basically.
You think Omos is going over with his contract? Because they're not doing nothing with him.
You know, that's interesting. The problem is that AEW can't book big men. Look at all the big men they have on their roster. They have done nothing with.
They got big cast.
Like I said, AEW cannot book. I said what I said. No, not changing my mind. They don't know how to book big men. Look what they did with Wardlow. Look at Lance Archer. Look at all of the big men that they've had. They have not really done anything with. So I don't know if he would fit in there. And it's crazy because he had a Mania match.
Yeah.
And then just nothing came of it.
And they made him a nothing. Really, he didn't have nothing like that. I think he started doing like live events, and that was it.
Yeah, and he has a cool YouTube channel where I think the purpose of the YouTube channel, I think he like reviews fragrances and stuff, lifestyle. It's actually pretty cute. I'll link it if you guys want to go. I think it's worth it.
I didn't even know he had one. Yeah.
Yeah, he does. I'll link it. I'll send it to you. Where I think he's trying to work on speaking more. I think that's why he's doing it, to get on camera, to get on to work on being more comfortable with speaking English. Obviously, English is not his natural language.
Yeah.
So I think that he's trying, but I don't know. AEW just can't book big men. I wouldn't mind seeing him in TNA maybe. And then working his way once he kind of gets the reps and gets the things in, and then working his way like to the bigger picture.
Forgot about TNA.
That's the thing. Kind of still. I don't really watch TNA. I watch clips of TNA. Whenever I watch the show week to week, nothing happens. But then pay-per-views be banging. So it's like,
I feel that way.
You can honestly say with AEW.
I feel that way with RH. RH have good matches, but we can't watch them because it's behind a paywall. I'm not paying $9.99.
Yo, so plug to my current YouTube right now. If you guys go back and watch my first Glam and Graps or Grap and Glams, that is actually my rant. I go on about a 10-minute rant about why I think Ring of Honor was just flopped. It sucks. Like, why is it behind a paywall? And why does your paywall not even include pay-per-views? So exactly. I'm paying $10 a month to watch a handful of matches that you just half threw together. Who are the champions over Ring of Honor? I know Queen Aminata and I know Briscoe. Couldn't tell you anybody else who's a champion. And then like it's just so poorly booked, and it sucks because again,
Red Velvet.
It don't even matter. It don't even matter. Respectfully, it doesn't even matter. But that is my point, right? What are their champions doing? But why is it that certain champions can go over to AEW and wrestle in the big shows, in the pay-per-views, but some can't? Why is that? Why have we not seen Athena?
Yeah,
we saw Athena at pre-show like a year and a half ago. But meanwhile, Briscoe does what he does every week and shows up at the main events and shows up to the pay-per-views and he be chilling. And then at one point, this is what's wild to me, Ring of Honor, right? Adam Cole and MJF has tag team belts and never defended them son of bitches on that show. Never defended them on the show. Never were there on a Thursday night. They would be at pay-per-views. So it's like, what are y'all doing? And I understand that, right? But then why give it to them?
Yeah.
If you're not going to go over there and work, what are you doing?
I think they're carrying that damn show. Because I remember I paid $9.99 just to see her versus Kiera Hogan, that feud. And then I cut it off after that. Like, I stopped paying.
I paid for it because I was hyped because I thought they were going to do something with it, right? So I paid for it for like maybe 6 or 7 months. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm done with this. And I haven't had it in over a year. And I can't say I don't miss it.
Yeah, no.
I can catch it on Twitter. I can catch the clips. I can catch it on YouTube. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not. There's no stories there. There's nothing there. And it sucks because Ring of Honor, like, you had to go through Ring of Honor back in the day, man. Like, all your OGs came through Ring of Honor and had bangers. And now it's like, it's treated, everyone's like, it's their NXT. No, it's not. Don't do that to NXT.
No,
don't do it like
NXT
that.
NXT got an actual, you can watch NXT on TV. It's
NXT
not
is
like NXT.
banging right now. It's not like, and it's not even like developmental like it used to be. Everyone's like, it's their developmentally. No, it's a whole separate brand now, and like it's
Mm,
honestly probably one of the best booked shows in
yeah,
wrestling
but I think
across the
Ring of
board.
Honor could have been like that. They just need a TV deal. And Tony Khan, he bought the rights to it and didn't think about the TV deal.
He bought the rights to it for the sake of buying the rights to it, but then he didn't do anything with it. Like again, it could have truly been like their developmental, right? It could have been something. And it's crazy because people went, I mean, Ethan Page, when he left, he said, I went down to Ring of Honor because they weren't using me and I'd use it to get reps. Sky Blue. Sky
Yeah,
Blue was killing it before she got hurt because she was down in Ring of Honor and she was doing indie shows. I think AEW needs a better machine. They need a training center. They need something.
the fact that they didn't
No,
put that in the deal, the Warner Bros. Deal, like give us a Ring of Honor TV deal.
maybe they didn't want it. Maybe they didn't want it.
That's crazy.
They hear our rants. They know that it's not doing anything right. So
At
like
this
I can
point, you just got to get
appreciate
rid of
him
it.
buying it. I can appreciate him buying it, but like piss or get off the pot. Use it or don't.
It would have been better with WWE because at least it would have been on WWE Network or whatever you want to call it, Peacock, where we could watch the old Ring of Honor stuff. If he was to go do nothing with it,
And it's crazy because like half those people are in WWE. So like you can't reference El Generico, you can't reference Kevin Steen, you
exactly.
can't reference all these things because they're not owned by them anymore. And I don't know, it's wasted money. I don't think he bought it for that much, honestly. I know this is gonna sound crazy coming from regular me. But he only paid a couple $1 million for it.
Yeah,
Wasn't
that's
a lot
nothing
of
to
money.
him. Yeah, that's nothing to him.
Nothing to him. Dropping the bucket, right? But if you're gonna use it, right, use it properly. Like they kept hinting at Athena and Mercedes, and like I would like to see that
Yeah, me too. I want to see
before
Mercedes
this
and Kiara Hogan because they got that little personal beef. Like, I want to see stuff like that. Like, bring me in with the personal beef.
facts.
That's
I would
storyline.
watch it. That is a storyline because I think there's like legit beef there between, or I don't think it. Let me clean that up. I don't think Sasha Mercedes cares, but I think Kiara does. I think
Yeah,
Kiara genuinely has beef, and Mercedes is like, "Who are you?"
uh, exactly. And you can feed off of that. Like, because Kiara can be a baby face, and she could be like, I ain't even heard of you until you did your little stupid rant on Instagram or something like that. They can
It ain't
feed
got
off
to
of that.
make sense. Mm-hmm.
But like you said, AEW don't know how to book.
And I hope it gets better because, like, I do think that AEW being around makes WWE better, but they got to do something. Like, I'm tired of these fantasy bookings. Prime example, right? Let's look at Wrestle Dream. Pay per view, great. Where was the build for it? Why did they put together the card like the week of? And that's AEW's problem, right? I've only watched one pay per view from Ring of.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry for AEW. I've only watched one, and it wasn't bad. It just was like not as good as the other ones were. Their pay per views bang. But
Oh
like
yeah,
they be built last minute. Like they're literally sitting building their card like the week of, the Friday before. It's like, but it somehow works. But even then, it's all just matches, no story,
but that's what
just
Tony Khan.
vibes.
I think he doesn't. He don't want writers. I think he got one writer in him, and everything goes through him. And you can't work like that in 2024. Like that's back in Vince and Pat. Like that's back in that days when you sit around the pool and book a whole show or whatever. Like
So
that's
I
not
think
working these
he's
days.
getting better because, to my understanding, RJ City actually has been like the producer or writer or booker, whatever it is you want to call it, for the whole Tony Storm thing. And I think that was really, really good. That was all
Yeah.
RJ City, apparently.
Oh really?
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering what he did in the company besides that show.
Yeah, he is exactly. I actually like the show; it's good.
Yeah, it
But
is.
yeah,
It's funny.
that's actually apparently that's actually been all him. That was all him.
Oh, okay. Well, they need to
So I
give him
think
the
that
book more.
he 100%. I think Sanjay has a little bit of the booking as well. Will Washington, and I feel like there's maybe one other person, and the guy that just fired, I forgot his name.
Yeah, I seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot his name. So I think that he needs to just do something differently, and like, I don't know, man. He got to stop doing this off of vibes.
Yeah.
He needs to like put some effort and energy into it. But that's where you have like my beef with Mercedes. Like the aura just isn't there for me. Like obviously I'm a Sasha fan. You can see my pictures back there. You see my Sasha gear. I got my tag team belt. Like I'm a Sasha stan. And it's just like I can't connect with this character for some reason. I don't know what it
Also, it's
is.
like
Like, I want
if you
to.
if you give somebody all this money and they barely have to do anything, they're not going to put 100% into their craft. Like she's the highest paid female. Like she's get private
And
jets
I
when she wants to. Like you're not gonna take it. I'm not gonna say you're not gonna take it serious, but you're not gonna put like what Sasha did in WWE because she was fighting for her position. She had all these women around her that could take her position anytime. She in AEW, nobody's taking her position right now. The closest one was Britt Baker, and she's gone. Like she's off and on.
So it's interesting that before she even wrestled a match for AEW, remember that interview she did with the random podcast? Sorry, I don't know which one it was. Shout out to them. Where they asked her, like, so are you ever going to go back to WWE? And she was like, yeah, of course I'm going to go home. So that right there tells me a lot, right? Like before you even wrestled a match, you are there for the check. Ain't nothing wrong with that, right?
Yeah,
Get
of
your money,
course.
baby girl. I ain't mad at it. But it says a lot to me before you even set foot in a ring that you're like, oh no, I'm just here for the money. Like I'm gonna go home eventually. Like that is when I knew that why I was here and why she was here. Like you're literally saying like, I'm just here for a short time. I'm going to get my bag and nothing's wrong with that. And I think that's part of AEW's problem, right? So like, say I'm this new wrestler and I'm killing it on the indies and I have a contract from WWE and AEW. This is where it kind of breaks down for me as, do I want the development? Do I want the training? Do I want the in-ring promo? Do I want the PC? Do I want the wrestling machine for a little less money? Or do I want to get it back and go to AEW and not learn and grow like I should be? So that's why I think that Stephanie, Delta, Julia, all of them came over to WWE because they're like, this is great, but I need the machine.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying they won't eventually go over and do other things and go back to NJPW and go to AEW and go to the indies and have some fun. But at some point, you have to learn, you have to grow, you have to develop. And I don't think you're going to get that in AEW right now. Ricochet, you have someone like Ricochet who has been there, done that, who sacrificed his body. We're at the point now, he's like, yo, throw the money at me.
Yeah, for
I've
real.
got the development. I've done the things,
He
right?
did
Kenny
everything.
Omegas. Everybody who AEW stole from NJPW. All those boys are like, I've been there, I've done that, I've proven myself.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the bag.
That's why Jay left. Jay was like, I'm
And
not
that is
getting
my
no.
point, right?
Yeah.
100%.
I'm basically hitting the ceiling. Within what 2 years she was there? It's like, what else can I do?
They didn't do nothing with her. Like they kept giving her squash matches. And how do you learn? How do you grow? How do you develop when your match ends in after a pump kick?
That's it. You're not
You
getting
hit
no
that pump kick.
promos. You're not getting no nothing. You doing the same
You
cut
hit
the
a
shit
pump kick
promos,
and
yeah.
you're done. Like
And you could
again,
tell.
that's what I need, right? You need that machine.
Yeah, true.
You need the machine. I mean, Jade is gorgeous. Just Jesus Christ, drop dead gorgeous. But she manages to look better in a WWE light. And it's like,
Oh
how
my
can
god,
somebody be more beautiful?
when
How
she
can
first
she look
came
more beautiful?
and she was
Jesus.
backstage walking with, I'm like, WWE got a different type of a camera back there.
They got a different type of light. I don't know what it is, but everyone just like, it's like, I didn't think someone could get more beautiful, and she did.
Yeah.
I just don't understand how. There's something about the WWE machine, man. It's like, again, if you've been there, you've done that, and you paid your dues, then go to AEW and get that bag. But if you truly want development, you want to get better, you want to continue to grow, you need to go to WWE and hop in their NXT. You need to hop in their machine, right? Because I guarantee you, Camille is pissed right now. Didn't she turn down NXT?
Yeah.
And went over to WWE, and now she's Sasha Banks' or Mercedes valet. And NXT is on TV. They are popping. They are killing it. Like I said, they have the best writers, best producers, and you turn that down. And what are you doing now? And
And
you
now
were like on ice for like 6 months. I signed her a while ago. I bet you Camille is kicking herself right now. She has to be.
She's not doing nothing.
And will she do something is the question.
I don't think so.
Because we all know Mercedes turns on her people eventually.
Yeah.
That's barely how that works out.
People are already getting tired of her.
Yeah.
I also have a rant. I have a rant that
Let's go.
I was listening to y'all last podcast, and you said that you wasn't a fan of 97 DX. How are you not a fan of 1996, like the first DX? That was the reason why I kept watching the Attitude Era. It's because of DX. They did crazy things every single week.
They did, but at some point it got old.
At what point? When Sean left?
I can't pinpoint where. I just was not a fan of like the OG DX, where just like it's like they did too much for the sake of doing too much.
You could
Which I
say
know may not
something
make
about
sense.
Stone Cold then.
You could. You absolutely could. But I like Stone Cold. I don't know. Like I don't have a real reason, right? It just didn't resonate with me at the time. If I could go back now, I'm entertained by it, but also like I'm old, right? So like
Yeah.
at the time I was a young girl and I was just like the over sexualization of things is like I didn't like it because I was a young
Okay.
girl. It was weird to me. So if you think about it that way, right? Now I can look at it and still think it's still weird, right? But like I'm older. So it's like
Okay, now if you do
but as
now
a young
a
girl,
female,
when
I
you're
can see.
watching that, now
Yeah.
does it kind of make a little bit more sense?
A
Yeah,
little more,
that was my whole gripe on it.
yeah.
Like y'all running around doing the sucking and doing all the things because y'all were boys, right? And that made sense for y'all. And I'm just sitting here like, that's disrespectful. That's disrespectful. That's not cool. So look at it that way. As a young girl watching it.
Okay, I feel you. All right. You get a pass then.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you. What do you see next for Mercedes? Where do you want to see her go in AEW?
That's hard to say because she's running through her competition too fast.
Yep,
And
quickly.
she already got the I feel like the TBS championship is higher than their
Women's
championship,
championship.
the women's championship. So will she get the women's championship next? But it's gonna be the same
Who
thing.
takes it off of her though? No, pause before we even get there. Who takes the belt off of her? Believably. That's the problem, right? You got to have someone believably take the belt from her.
I think you call. It sounds crazy, but I think you call Athena up. I think Athena can take it off of her, the TBS title. And she never had the title, right?
Yeah, no. She's been stuck in Ring of Honor. Mm-mm.
So you get them two together, they can cut good promos together. You have her take it off, and then she move on to the women's championship. They got to take that. What's the other belt she got? The strong style or
the strong women's belt that the belt they made for her. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they got to take that off of her. Like she don't need that. She don't need to walk around with 2 titles right now.
Also, if she's not going to actually do anything over NJPW, why does she have it?
I don't understand. I don't understand all these titles with AEW. I really don't. It's confusing.
Like, why do you have an international belt and an intercontinental belt? Like, I forgot what it is. Those two mid card belts they had. Like, what is the difference between the two of them? I'm so confused. Mid Atlantic or whatever.
Then they changed it for MJF, and they made it something else, and then they came back to the. It's confusing.
You're doing a lot, AEW. I need you to break it back down. And I think it's interesting too that Tony Khan has become everything that he hated about Vince McMahon: hoarding talent, giving them weird deals, holding them for like 5 and 6 years, letting them out of their contracts, making interesting booking decisions. Like I just think he's become I think he's slowly becoming everything that he quote unquote hated about VKM.
Yeah. I also think Mercedes need a break. I know it's too soon, like she just got there, but her being
that's when you take the strap off of her. Take the strap off of her. Give her a month. Have her come back with a vengeance. Have her come back angry and want the main title. That's how you can do it.
Yeah. Because I'm a fan, but I'm like you say, you don't need her every single week.
I don't. It's okay to take some time off. Like you don't need to be there every single week. Or you can cut a promo that you can record the week before or whatever and play it. But I don't need her in ring every single week.
Yeah. I think also AEW is mad because they gave her all that money and they thought she was gonna bring a lot of viewerships. But every time they sign somebody, they don't bring a lot of viewerships. So it's like you just dishing out all this money. It's not the one person can't bring all the viewership. It's the company. You have to tell stories. You have to. It's not just one person. That's what we're telling people like, oh, Sasha doesn't bring anybody. She's one person. Like you need the whole company to step up.
You need a machine. Again, you need the machine, and like one person is not the machine. That's not the answer to your problems. Is not Mercedes Moné.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why I think that they would have shock dropped sneakers. They would have shock dropped Moné. But the problem is they couldn't sell that venue out. So they had to drop the hints that she was coming to sell out the garden.
Oh yeah, of course.
So I think it would have made more sense for her to be a surprise pop-up. But they couldn't risk like having her pop up and have 30 folks in the crowd.
Having it half empty, like, yeah, no. Because something like that, you don't really supposed to tell. It's supposed to be a
Shock drop it.
surprise.
Someone
Yeah.
just pops up randomly and calls it a day. Julia, shock drop. I mean, we knew it, but shock drop.
Yeah.
Delta, Stephanie. Not just, hey, we're gonna tease it. Come by this show. We're gonna drop random merch, Boss Town merch, and call like, no, that's not.
Basically giving it away.
But there's a way to even do that. Like, look at NJPW when she debuted over there. It was we knew she was doing it, right? But we still were hyped when it happened. We were like, this, yes, there's a way to make it the worst kept secret. AEW just didn't make it. I don't know. They just didn't commit to it. I don't know, man.
That's your company.
Whose?
Yours.
Anyway.
All right, I got a question for you. Since you don't like Swerve, if you can only watch one person match for the rest of your life, Swerve or Hulk Hogan?
I'm not.
No, you gotta pick one.
No, I don't. I'm not. I'm not.
So you're not watching no wrestling, no TV for the
That's
rest of your life?
a hot take, and I love that question. I might have to steal that for somebody. But no, I'm just not gonna watch it. I'm not watching either one of them.
Wow.
Doesn't work for me, brother.
Y'all really hate Hulk Hogan. I mean, I personally, I don't.
And
like
you don't?
Personally, I don't like him. But I tell everybody, I can take business and personal. I can separate them.
I can't.
See?
So you listen to R. Kelly music?
Hell yeah! I got a playlist. Are you crazy?
So how do you? I'm stunned.
Yes, I
can't separate Hulk. I can't separate Hulk.
The man, you can't. Okay, but what he did for the business, Hulk Hogan is the biggest wrestler still. I don't care what nobody says. Like you're
not Hulk wrong.
Hogan,
don't
Hulk
care.
Hogan is like the Snoop Dogg of wrestling. Like your grandma know him, your little cousin.
Don't
know
care.
Him. Yeah,
the problem is that now you have The Rock, right? So now you have The Rock, you have Roman, who are also Universal, John Cena. You have plenty of people that have transcended wrestling and have gone and do big things, not just Hulk Hogan. So back in the day, yes, it was just Hulk, but your grandma knows who John Cena is. I bet your grandma knows who The Rock is.
But do your grandma know that The Rock used to wrestle? That's the thing. People know Hulk Hogan as a wrestler, and he went on to do other things. If you ask people nowadays about The Rock, they didn't even know he wrestled. Some people, they just know him as an actor.
Let me let you on a secret. I don't care. That is the secret. Now you know.
See,
do it that you wish.
We got to have another podcast, and yeah, we got to talk about some other
I'm gonna have to come join you boys and talk wrestling with y'all on that, because I can't pick between Hawk and Swerve. I don't want to. I'm good. Nah, I'm not picking. I would just rather just not.
That's crazy. I'm gonna say Hulk Hogan.
That's fair, but I can't do it.
And you don't listen.
Doesn't work for me, brother. It sucks. I love Fiesta. I think Fiesta was a great song. Like that was my OG go-to hype song. Can't do it.
Sheesh. Well, that's crazy.
Well, I want to thank you for your time. I greatly appreciate it. I think that we can kind of see what happens with Mercedes and see where it goes from there. We'll see. We'll see if AEW gets any better. We'll see if Ring of Honor gets any better. Like I guess we just they got a new TV deal. So we'll see how this plays out, if it gets any better with the TV deal, because if you don't do good on this one, you're not going to get another one. So
and I don't like that. I don't like the fact. Yeah, I don't like the fact that I thought that the pay-per-views was going to be free with HBO Max.
Yo, let's talk about that before we get out of here. They're not. They're just discounted. And it's like next year at that.
Yeah, and
they gotta figure something out, because your girl can't keep spending $50 a pop. I can't keep doing it. Like I can't.
So what is the discount? Because if the discount is $25, we still paying $15 for HBO Max. So it's really the same thing. It's no discount.
Yeah, you're getting it one way or you're getting it the other. Like I don't see it. We'll see how it ends up coming out. But I agree that it should have been like their Max, that should have been included. I don't understand why it wasn't, because paying $50 a month is insane ask of wrestling fans. They don't even shower. So, but you want them to spend $50 a week? Like, you want to spend $50 a week on? That's a crazy ask. That's a crazy ask.
And then what it is, they now it's gonna be Dynamite and Rampage or whatever the show's gonna be on HBO Max and cable. That makes no sense.
I don't know. I didn't read the full thing.
Yeah,
But I
that
think the
gets
problem
fun.
is that they got to get rid of Rampage, right? No one watches that. I haven't watched Collision in a while. Every once in a while I do watch Collision if I'm bored enough. But since Punk left, I haven't really watched Collision.
Yeah.
Nobody watches Rampage. They can let that show go.
I think it's gonna be they're gonna make it as like a dark again, where they're gonna make it this YouTube show.
They gotta do something.
Stuff they film.
No one watches it. The numbers aren't there. That's the problem that I have with TNA. It's pre-taped, right? So like I just hop on Google's and it'll tell me everything I need to know. So like, why do I need to watch it? Also, they don't put good matches on there. When Rampage first started, you got like the Bucks versus like whomever. Like you actually had like real talent on it. Now it's just like Orange Cassidy versus Penta. No shade to the two of them, but you know what I mean? Like, they're not putting like their big names on it. Mercedes ain't working Nash. You know what I mean? It's just I don't know.
Yeah, no.
I don't know. Just ain't fair for me. And it's on a Friday night.
I also didn't like that Raw last week was taped. That was weird.
Yeah, because it all came out too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
But
well, I appreciate your time. Let everyone know where we can find you at.
Instagram, Twitter, Lavante F. Smith. Go follow me go subscribe to my YouTube page. I'm about to drop more stuff on there. It's mostly just the wrestling, the Born Leads Wrestling podcast, but I also do like unboxings. I do the video game stuff. I do all kind of stuff on there. So go subscribe on there. Follow me on everything else. Also, I want to give a shout out to you. I need you. I've been seeing you drop so much stuff. Now you got this stuff where you doing makeup and talking stuff, and then you got your show this. You got this going on. I need you to get back to your roots when you had the green screen in the and you have.
I'm not saying I won't get back to that. I need to kind of. I don't know. I just want to have like a diverse YouTube, right? A diverse kind of different little this. Like I got your girly girls, we can sit and we can talk about makeup. We can do that. We can me and you get to kick it about wrestling. Like I am gonna go back to I am gonna go back to like doing like my features and my matches and things like that. And I have the podcast with the girls. I just kind of want to do a little bit of everything, right? Like I just want to have fun and like wrestling is fun to me. So like if it means I'm hitting different audiences, it is what it is. But I agree. I need to go back to my roots and kind of go back to my TikTok shorts and my features and watch this match. And
because I learned a lot of stuff from you.
Like did you really?
Yeah. Like the Kiera Hogan stuff I didn't know about Kiera Hogan in that 1 minute that you talked, like especially like the Black History stuff that you was doing a lot. Especially like the
my AEW Black History features. Yeah.
I didn't know a lot about AEW wrestlers, so I just watched your clips.
I appreciate that. That makes thank you. I will go back to doing that.
Yeah.
You know what video got a lot of attention that I did? R-Truth. I got a lot of attention from my R-Truth video. People don't put enough respect on his name.
Yeah, because you deep dive.
People didn't know that he was NWA champion. People didn't know his story. People didn't know that like everyone knows like that he had his past issue with the law, but no one knows like he been in the game for forever.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. You did real deep dive. And then it was only within like 1 minute. Like something you just watched real fast.
I think I had like a minute to 90 seconds. Like they weren't long. They were just enough for you to like get the information and move on.
Yep.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
I see you moving. You got the lip gloss and ladder, and then you just took off and did all these other stuff. I'm like, dang, she got another show. And then you got your basically your unboxing, your WWE shop stuff. Yeah, so you're doing a lot.
I appreciate it, bro. Thank you.
I'm trying to be like you.
Anyway, I'm trying to be like y'all. There's enough room in the community for everybody. So if you want to do it, like let's go, right?
For real.
All right, y'all. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you soon.
All right. Peace.